Good morning. So I used the Core Mini last night. Since it couldn't push too much air, I kind of raised it all the way to the max level and it was a little bit loud. It also doesn't have auto mode, but the advantage is that it turns off all of its lights after a little bit, so I didn't have blue lights blasting me in the face while I was trying to sleep.
Budget air purifiers are usually slower and louder because the fans inside are not too big. But for this one, the big surprise was actually the fan speed. Other reviewers just get a measuring device on one spot and kind of try to measure out the air speed from that, but it's not accurate because the design can kind of influence the air pressure. So that's why my friends at Harvard helped me to design a special device to measure and ta-da! It's a work in progress. How this works basically is put the purifier down here, you seal it with this plastic which is taped to the box so there's no air leak, and the only air pressure coming out is right here, which I cut a hole in the box so we can measure it. And this was the air quality last night. Not bad. See, the PM really only went up to like 2. The VOC is the highest it went. It was 37, which is not bad. It usually goes pretty high up. So it did do its job. So overall, not bad. And this air purifier pushed out a surprising amount of air. And with the auto dimming feature right here, it's pretty good, C+. So being a product reviewer and a professional sleeper, I decided to handle this the only way I know how. Intimidation, but also spending one night with each purifier. The cost section to see a surprise benefit from this.
That was quite nice. I only had it on level 2 when I was falling asleep. I could feel like there was a circulating blanket of air around me while also being the quietest one so far. I could get used to this.
This is definitely an upgrade, faster on all speeds and quieter in some. Level 2, which I had on, was faster and quieter to similar speeds in other ones. And they managed to pull this off with the limitations of an even bigger filter, biggest one by far. This was the last Core 400, quite a size difference. Bigger usually isn't better, but it was this time. S.
Had to use the second level even though I wanted the third because it was too loud. And I definitely didn't feel as much air.
This is almost slower and louder than the 300. What gives? It's the filters again. The Core 300 filter is around 2/3 the size of this one. But the Core 400 is almost double this one. So that's why the Core 400 is faster than the 200 SP on all speeds except one and around the same noise. So if you want a bigger filter but you don't want to spend the money on the Core 600, get the Core 400. But as for this one, C+. Overall, you're getting a crazy amount of value jumping up from the Core Mini to the Core 200, doubling the speed and max settings. And the speeds don't even go that much faster, even at the more expensive ones. But you do get faster filtering rates with bigger purifiers. And the Core 300 is only like $10 more than the Core 200, and you get a bigger filter, faster speeds, and lower noise. So if I'm talking about overall value, I think that the Core 300 might be my pick.
So the first level was bit too slow for me, so I turned it to level 2. Still quieter than the Core Mini, but not by much. I did like that I was able to turn off the lights right away instead of just waiting for it to time out. And this is how I performed last night. PM really good. The VOC is really good as well, much better than the Core Mini. As you can see, the high was 3 for VOC, not too bad at all.
A lot of new features. I love the light, but I never found myself using it that much. Or the timer, or the lock function. This might be more for people who have kids that are messing around with this. But I love having a dedicated fan button instead of, pressing the on-off button, rotating the fan speed like the Core Mini. It's more convenient, it's faster speeds, lower noise, so just straight up an upgrade. B-.
I set it to level 2 again and it definitely felt quieter. Felt more like white noise than distraction.
Again, this is quieter and faster than the last one, but this one's especially because when compared to the Core Mini, it is also quieter than the second level of the Core 200. Overall, pretty impressive, A. The trend continues with this being bigger, faster, and quieter. Same speed while being louder. How is that possible when the PM test showed it was faster? Well, not only is the size bigger, so is the filter. This is the 400 and this is the 300. 2 times, 3 times, I'm not sure, but a lot bigger than the previous one. So that's why it's so much harder to push air through all this filter. So even though it seems worse that it has the same speed, it is better because it's doing the same speed while doing way more filtering. So it's still an upgrade, but just a slight one. So I'll give it a B. Wait for